just gonna go down in time. This is an
happen. Great stop there. Oh, Dicey.
Oh my God, J-Mo, the champion of this one.
Oh, Asano! He gets the triple off the rocket as the fourth.
Welcome everybody to more Valorant action. Today we have an immense best of 5 coming your way. This is the Valorant Challenges Stage 2 Grand Finals. It's best of 5. I can't really wrap my head around this, Sean. How are you doing today going into the NV Sentinels game?
Dude, it's been a crazy morning, and this best of 5 is definitely going to make things a little bit more insane for us. I'm pretty stoked because this is a different format than we've previously seen in best of 5s. They were running me back on it. I'm not sure. Have you gotten a chance to look over it?
No, not yet.
Yeah. So the format is going to be where Sentinel's just going to get to choose the first map. And I think in the past, Envy would have gotten to ban one. So that kind of puts a wrench in things for Envy. Now, what I will say is they're going to immediately get to do the same thing right back to Sentinels. They're going to pick a map out of the remaining, 4 left. So both teams are in a good spot. Envy is going to start the best of 5 with a 1-0 advantage. And this is going to be insane. I think we have an opportunity to go the distance.
Oh, for sure. And it's kind of amazing too, because both of these teams are coming in with incredible form. I don't think either one of them has really shown any signs of weakness or slowing down at this point. And it's, again, we use the analogy of just these unstoppable trains. Well, I feel like Envy and Sentinels are both those things. So someone's going to get wrecked in this grand finals, but it's really hard to pin down as to like, who is that going to be? And what's it going to look like in terms of, as this goes across, map to map to map. I mean, Sean, just thinking about the maps that we will be getting, is there any map in particular that you're particularly excited for, given the form that we've seen from these teams so far in this tournament?
So I'm going to go ahead and drop a stat real quick on you, Dan. So I was looking at the maps, and so far this year, Sentinels, do you know what their record is on Haven?
It's really good, isn't
really
it? That
good.
They haven't lost.
15-0 on Haven in 2021. They are really good on the map. Envy doesn't really play it, so we're likely going to see that as the first map. And then Envy's going to do the same thing right back to Sentinels. Sentinels doesn't play Bind. Envy plays a ton of Bind. They're incredibly good at it. I think they have like an 80% win rate on Bind. So the first 2 maps seem like they're going to be a wash. And then when you get to the last 2 maps, that's when the series is going to heat up. I think we're going to end up in a scenario where Envy's going to be up 2-1 after they trade their maps. And it's going to be so insane at that point. I don't know who's going to take Split, Ascent, Icebox. It could be any of the two. It could be, any of those maps. I don't know how the veto is going to play out because both these teams are really strong on those 3 maps. And it's just the tail end of this series is going to be incredible.
For sure. I'm totally with you there. There's so much to talk about. But let's remind people as to exactly how the format works with this explainer.
Welcome to the Valorant Champions Tour, a year-long tournament circuit featuring the best players and teams from all over the world, culminating in a global championship event, Valorant Champions. Each stage begins with challengers, where teams compete in regional tournaments for a place at Masters. Teams who compete in Masters events will earn points that help them qualify for Champions. And Champions is where the best teams from around the world compete on a global stage, where the art of greatness is on full display. And one team will be crowned 2021 Valorant Champions.
As you can see, so much awesome Valorant action in store. It feels like, we're in this world where we will get that international LAN at some point. That's obviously what this is all building towards, having that inter-regional battle that we've wanted to see for so long. So just that prospect is something to give you, nerd chills alone. But let's check out the bracket and see how the action has unfolded thus far at the Valorant Challengers Stage 2. We've had, of course, Envy on the upper bracket just making a hell of a run. And in fact, they did knock Sentinels down previously in the tournament. Is there anything else from this upper bracket, Sean, that you want to talk about?
I think it seems like almost all chalk, right? Like you would expect Sentinels to beat FaZe, you would expect Envy to beat Exit, you would expect Immortals to take out Gen G right there. The one that really is tricky is 100 Thieves falling to LG. But LG has had this insane run of form lately, particularly like this year. I believe they just signed Moose finally, and your boy Dre into some contracts. Those guys look insane. They look really, really good as an up-and-coming team in the scene. And I think in the future, we're going to have to look out for them. That's what I would take away from this bracket.
Yeah, it's been really great to see so much progress from so many of these lineups. I think a lot of people have been counting them out, and it's really hard as well in Valorant because we don't have a huge amount of volume in terms of games played and tournaments played compared to some other games like CS, where you can get this constant, finger on the pulse as to how these teams are developing. But as we can see, as you've mentioned, there's so much growth that's happening. And what's really interesting too is, just meta to meta shift, who is managing to stay on top. And I think that's really what is so awesome with Sentinels and Envy, because as you said, 100 Thieves, a team that's very tactical, very strategic, very experienced, although still pretty new, but they did of course come off of the First Strike win. They're a team that did fall to some of the variants to perhaps the meta shift. And Sentinels and Envy, on the other hand, two teams that have been the rocks of the North American scene. Ultimately, TSM's up there as well, but even TSM, struggling to find their form and be in this playoff bracket. So it's really good to see Sentinels and Envy managing to have that consistent storyline all the way through here to face up in this best of 5. I feel like there's no other team that could match up against one another other than these two teams right now. This is an amazing matchup, and as you can see here, the two lineups, there is just so much skill and experience on the server right now.
There really is, and you could see, the parallels between the teams with, the Oppers, the Jet Oppers and Mame and Shaz, but they're actually very different. You'll see Mame play a lot of Omen. You'll see Shaz sometimes play Breach. So these teams, even though they're constructed with like the IGL, the Opper, the way they function is so different, with Shaz being the IGL Opper on Jet, whereas when you look at Envy, you see FNS, who's playing the super passive Cypher role and allows all of his teammates to shine.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see, how the teams have been molded around those two individuals. It's also been cool to see just how adaptable everybody has to be. So you will see players having to change things up. Sick, for example, we just saw him there on the Sage. He's had quite the journey with Sage over the multiple kind of nerfs Sage has received, but still finding ways to really make Sage work. And we saw that really come into play yesterday on Split, so I can't wait to see more of that. There's just so much to get into with these individuals, and of course Envy with just really amazing individuals too. Can never count them out. Of course, that amazing clutch there from Caboose with the Stinger, just showing just how the versatility of these players. They all seem to have a really good awareness of the timings, the micro timings of this game, the make and break timings of this game. And I think that's something you were talking about yesterday, Sean, being an X factor for Sentinels. But with that said, are Envy a team that are going to be able to deal better than Immortals did with the kinds of rotations we're going to see from a team like Sentinels mid-round?
I think so. I think Envy will stand a better chance. But with that being said, the game becomes, in my opinion, easier to read if you're a Sentinels player. I mean, Envy is so much more structured when I look at them on a bigger picture when you compare them to Immortals. So it should be easier for them to read. And here's the picks. Yeah, it's kind of what we expected. Haven and Bind are going to lead the series. But then Split and Icebox to close it out. So if we go to a 5th map, we're going to get Icebox, Dan. Are you ready?
I am ready for this. Man, it's kind of exactly as you described, though. It's going to start off, we expect, the two strongest maps for each team respectively. Haven there for Sentinels, Bind coming in for Envy. To be somewhat of a, maybe a warm-up match for these two teams to kind of get those out of the way with. But yeah, the Icebox finish is really interesting. I think both teams have shown a lot of great stuff on it. I've been impressed by both. I think it's hard to really edge anybody out here for me still. I'm trying to find that argument to feel like I should lean one way or the other, but this is a really 50-50 for me. I think I'm looking most forward to Split. How about you?
I think so too. When these two teams match up, it just feels like Sentinels is they struggle a little bit because you can tell Envy when they came into the scene, when they picked up Food and Crashies, when they brought in FNS and they created this entire structured team. They looked at Sentinels as a blueprint, what was working back then. So they are insanely familiar with what Sentinels likes to do and their strengths. And because of that, I think this matchup is always going to be really difficult for Sentinels.
Well, here we go. We are about to kick off this grand finals, this best of 5 affair between Sentinels and Envy, the clash of the Titans. I think it's fair to say that there's no two teams that could really, at this point in time in North America, give us as good of a matchup as we're about to see. And to kick things off, Sean, we've got the picks. It looks like a fast lock-in coming in from Sentinels. Is it all looking, par for the course right now for you?
I think so, yeah. Sick being on Phoenix. We see that quite a bit from him on Haven. Obviously, Dapper's going to be on Cypher, Shaz on Jet. Everything looks pretty normal on Sentinels. And on the other side for Envy, I mean, it kind of looks normal, but they don't play a lot of Haven. So anything they pick right here, Sentinels probably isn't super prepared for. There's not much footage of Envy. I think, Sentinels is just going to likely play their game.
Hey, well, it certainly works for them. They're such an adaptable team. Again, we always talk about their mid-rounding, and for people that are familiar with the Counter-Strike scene, I think, Fnatic were a team that really made themselves known for that, and they could always get themselves out of any kind of tricky position because of that skill. And Sentinels really reminds me of that team that just will always find something if they can create some chaos, even if they're down in a disadvantage. So long as there's space open on the map in the mid-round, they're going to find ways to work with those timings and rotations to find some kind of advantage to get themselves back in it. So it's really cool to see them picking to comfort. I don't think that really, there's too much to say about in terms of the agent picks. It does feel pretty vanilla, pretty standard at this point. I'm definitely going to have my eyes on, Caboose and Food here for Envy, as the duelists, as you'd expect. I think there's a lot for them to do, in a game like Haven.
Indeed, yeah.
Here we go.
I think the lack of a Jet on Envy's team and Moment on the Omen could hurt them. It's kind of hard to get the operator activated when you play Omen on Haven. It's much more suited for a Jet player. So we'll see how that plays out throughout this map.
Standing ahead.
Arrow right to the back of tree there, a lobby. Get any early information. And it looks like a C-split is on the cards here for Sentinels to kick things off. And we actually do have players in position for this. Very fast rotation. This is going to be a little bit crazy. Frenzy's out, of course. And we can see that Envy managing to hold on to backside with finesse there. So this is about to get very crazy. Everybody now suddenly available to be shot here as the vision is restored. And when all is said and done, the dust has settled. It's just one left now for Sentinels. Man, it's like just witnessing a death match.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. You could see Sentinels was planning to push through the cage, go to back site, but Envy actually beat them to it. They pushed the opposite side of the site, flanked Sentinels in the midst of their plan, and it created utter chaos. Dapper now probably just waiting for this Reyna overheal to fade away, and then he's going to flank through B. It's still such a hard clutch, though. I mean, I know he has a Frenzy, 100 HP. Both these players also have full HP, though.
30 seconds left.
Dapper does manage to find a lot of crazy edges where you don't expect him to find it, but as you say, it's looking rather grim. Nice setup hit, forced to kill the cam, and really, as you say, nothing he can do in that kind of a spot, but he gave it the old college try either way. That's the 1-0 start for Envy on the defender side, but of course, even though the spike didn't go down, we could very well see a lot of firepower coming out from Sentinels. We'll have a look and see what they decide to do. Will we see some stingers here? Or are they off to go for the save?
Yesterday, we saw them save on the second round. More than any other team I've seen in this tournament, Sentinels has opted to not buy the stingers on the second round after losing pistols. And so far, it hasn't burned them. So they're going to full save here, allow Envy to take this round. But, okay, you could just bunny hop out of the window, take out Food. We're in a 4-on-4, though.
Mummy, there was some extra pressure from Garage, is going to be able to at least get one kill back, and I like this from Envy. They're not losing any confidence, still keeping the pressure on around mid, looking to use those ranges to their advantage. Perhaps also being familiar that, as you say, Sentinels of any team is going to be the one that will probably go for some of these saves. Oh, nice transfer from Crashies. He's awake today. And that's the 2-0 for Envy in the bag.
Yeah, I think Crashies has been one of the most pleasant surprises I've seen in the pro scene in the last couple of months. He definitely had tons of impact when he was on T1, but since joining Envy, it seems like he's been able to choose his roles, and just how he's fallen into this Sova role is so amazing to see. He's taking over almost every game I watch for Envy.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's been amazing to see his versatility. I think he's been very impressive.
We can breathe for a second here, Dan. This is a slow default coming out of Envy. You can see Zoms holding the C push, smoking top C to deny info. And they're working up front B very quickly, actually. Sick is in this. He's walked into the site.
Oh, man. Talk about timings. Sick, as you say, a really forward positioning. Not expected. Food, though, able to take advantage of Sinatra. Also unexpected position for his opponent. So some give and take it, but Envy certainly in a difficult spot. The spike is now planted. Envy looking to see what they can do to recover this. They have managed to find ground at the back of B here. Nice flash coming through from Food, trying to take control of the site. But it's not just the site control that's important here. We can see Zoms on that lurk. Back window, looking to keep the pressure on. There's the hot hands, though. That's going to delay things. The TP has to come through. Is there a denial here from Zoms? Looks for the transfer, although Food is going to have his number. Very, very, very close. And man, Sean, that looked like Sentinels understood that Envy were not going to play anyone B at the early timing. Is that some, that's got to be some studying happening right there.
Yeah, that's insane. I think they felt the pressure of the A push. They felt the deep smoke A come in. They felt, the Reyna getting close, and they just recognized that B would likely be open. Like you said, this seems like an anti-shot. It's a very interesting tactic to call on the third round where you have, massive advantage with, your weaponry. So here, Sentinels actually rebuying into Stingers, and they're going to try to make this round super chaotic.
It's not quite as quick as the previous round in terms of that, gaining that position towards the B site, but well, hold up. Thought we do have a drone coming through from Envy. They're looking to see if they can find some information on a lobby and able to dodge that drone. Now walking behind, and Food will spot that, and the rotation is able to come in to a degree. Obviously, Envy don't want to overreact here. But two players there shoring up the short defense. The one to make first contact.
Oh, no, Dan.
Oh, pops the running back. This is very scary. It's a massive bait, though, for Crashies, who's going to take down two, and they're still going to hold on to position for now, but there comes the flank up the long position to deal with that short setup, and Shazam is there as well. Able to keep the Dream alive here on the A side as he pushes forward. Next fight, though, is all finesse and caboose as Envy lock it down, but my God, that was close.
That was incredibly close to just falling to pieces for Envy. When I saw Food pop that ult, it seemed like it was all over, but it was actually one of the best bait plays I've ever seen, because everyone's going to push, the Phoenix ult body. But unfortunately, they had no one holding long, so the double flank comes in, and we just go back and forth, end up in a 2-1-2, and that's where Envy can manage to close it out. But wow, that was way closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I just honestly just laughing at how massive of a bait that is. Like, it's such a, he was not going to fall for that. Beautiful stuff. Oh, we've got, the work through the cage there on long. Dapper looking for a fast timing. Able to take down the drone, which is always nice. Caboose caught. Actually, not going to get fragged, but down to 35 health. At least he's on the Reyna, but that's not fun.
But that's a huge win for Zoms. He's sitting here holding the C push every round. And already at round 5, he's punished someone for pushing C. So likely, he's tamed that for the next several rounds. The A hit is in. There's 3 Envy players here. They're reading this so well, Dan.
Yeah, they've got a great timing. There's the flash play to try to deal with the long play first from Sentinels. And that is going to go very well. So stage 1 complete. Now it's just about dealing with the short attack. And so far, so good, because they have this long position to work from. So it really creates a lot of problems here the Sentinels as they try to work their way through. Just down to 2 players now against the 4 Envy defenders who are sitting in position. They don't have to do very much. The spike is down on the ground, and it's up to Sentinels to figure out how the hell they find their way back onto picking up the spike and then finding a way to plant it. It's a lot to do. There is a smoke available now from Zoms. I wonder if he'll try to find a spot for that. There we go. Dark cover comes through, but I think that's from the defenders of Envy. And Sick is not going to find anything here off of Zoms dying. It's like he's just going to have to go for a save in this spot or try to do some damage. It's really well played by Envy. As you said, Sean, the timing was immaculate.
Just an absolutely beautiful round by Envy because you could see what they were going for. They send Caboose down C, and once they realize Zoms is on top that box deep C, they recognize, okay, this is just the default. They're just spreading the map, and we have a lot of time before Sentinels hits the C site. If the guy holding C is on that box by their spawn, we can essentially evacuate the C site for the next 30 seconds. And that's what they did. They kept 3 people in A on a 3 bomb site map. I mean, they had 3 of players in 1 site. They were all over that hit from Sentinels. And again, they have 3 people on C ready for a C hit. Oh my goodness, Envy is so well prepared.
Ahead of the game right now, reading everything. Sentinels, the picture book. We'll see what they can do here. Just forcing their way through. Shazam with the knives out. Desperately trying to updraft, but unable to find any love with that. Sentinels really on the struggle bus at the moment. So they're trying to hold on to this position, but at the backside, Envy are still holding onto a line of defense that looks very difficult to deal with, and indeed, it's going to be good enough, and it's never going to be really, truly challenged by Sentinels. They barely got to a position where they could maybe plant the spike, but there was no clear at all of the site. Actually, and as you say, Sean, amazing reads from Envy. They've just guessed it right every single time.
Yeah, it's like they know the calling patterns on Sentinels, right? Like they just felt the A hit coming on the first round, and then they knew they shut that down so well. This is likely to be a C hit, so let's stack C for the first, several seconds of the round. And sure enough, I mean, they just go right into it.
It was really just that B walk that we saw from that B contact that we saw from Sentinels. That was the only thing that really caught Envy off guard so far. But going into the next round, we'll have to see if there's anything here doing for Sentinels in terms of a mix-up that may be able to catch Envy off guard. Envy not really having any presence right now on the C site. Very grouped towards the mid bomb sites.
Oh, this certainly feels like a B hit. And again, Envy's all over it. Like you said, no one's even on C. No one's looking at C. There's not a cam on C. There's not a trip on C. There's nothing. Envy is feeling this out so well. You can see they're even playing full retake on A.
This is kind of galaxy brain, isn't it, from Envy right now? It's predicting everything. Now it's just about defending, and you can predict everything, but you have to hit the shots at the same time. You get a trade coming through onto that B-side attack. Sentinel still looking to try to get to grips with this, but nice play. Mummy and Food. Food dropping the run back there to make life even more difficult here for Sentinels, who are now stuck outside the site. They've lost control of the spike, so they're committed into this B-site somehow. It's looking very difficult because Envy have everything to try to defend this with. Drone goes through for that extra bit of info. Food there, able to deal with Zoms, and there's just no way Sinatra is going to try to get through, but he will also run into the brick wall that is Food.
Whew. This is why we play the games, Dan. I said that this would go easily to Sentinels. Look at this game so far that Envy has put together. I mean, this is insane. This is insane. Sentinels, if you guys weren't here at the start of the stream, they are 15-0 on Haven this year. 15-0. They are now down 0-7. Like, this is incredible gameplay coming out of Envy. They are predicting every round perfectly so far.
Revealing area.
It's really insane to watch. It really is. And they've got an aggressive setup here. Although it will be dealt with by Zom. So he's been very good at sort of catching aggression on C. So that's something at least. A 5v4 to work with Sick has managed to find really forward position in C window. Mummy is aware of this, but just the level of threat and the possibilities here is dangerous. There goes the wall. The flash, not really something Sick could have played off of safely. Decides to just keep himself alive. And once again, Finesse, he's been really good at holding back site. This has been key in holding these attacks on this C bomb site. However, the trades will come through. Looking really good for Sentinels, leaving just Crashies here, coming in from long. 1 versus 3. It's not an easy situation to find yourself in. Know exactly where he is. He's gonna be moving through a choke point. Players on either side. There comes the blind to make matters worse. That's gonna seal the deal. So there we go. Sentinels finally on the board with their first round.
Very nice adaptation there out of Sentinels. You know, the second Zombs gets the frag on Caboose pushing C. Sick takes the ground in Garage, recognizing, okay, if that guy's gonna push C, someone has to, you know, pick up C in place of him. Garage is open. Such good awareness of how the rotations would operate on a map like Haven. But with that being said, they're gonna have to string together rounds. 1 round isn't enough. They got to string together multiple rounds to break Envy's money here.
Scanning ahead.
Play for the orb there. It's been good seeing, you know, how much the orb's been prioritized for Phoenix. It does really add a lot of opportunities. Getting the running backs in there. Oh, Crashy's actually swinging for the challenge by himself. Not sure Sinatra was expecting that. That's a huge win, taking the Sova out of the picture on the attack that quickly. And Envy, they're going to push forwards here. Indeed, dropping that ult. Crashy's able to use the ult there to get the extra kills and keep that long position. He's found the spike as well. Desperation mode now hits for Sentinels, as everything is now known by Envy. They've got spike control as well to make matters worse. Crashy's with the recon is going to spot out 1 player as he's to the left side. Running back here. Oh, this is going to be very difficult, and it's going to get sprayed through the smoke. Really feeling bad for Sentinels right now. Zoms was going to be able to find 1, but there's a flank coming through. Finesse, of course. And oh, Mame gets himself a collat. Nice and tidy with the operator.
Oh my goodness, the confidence coming through on Envy right now. Just the way Crashies is constantly challenging Long A. They are playing like they're the team to beat in this best of 5, which is exactly what you want to see. I think we missed that in First Strike when we saw Envy play. Going into First Strike, it seemed like Envy was the best team in the NA, and they fell so flat when they had to come up big. This is the opposite. This is them showing up in a grand finals.
Yeah, it's really impressive. That confidence is causing problems. It's just this constant pressure as well. Fearing that they may just peek you anywhere. And Caboose here looking for that defense. He is often between Long and Garage, and this time it's going to pan out that he's able to defend that Garage position, and that might force the hand of Sentinels being down in a 4 versus 5, looking to try to use what little control they have towards A. Are actually going to get onto the site. Ooh, that. Oh no, this is. Oh no, Sean. This could be everything here. He is on the mega trigger discipline as he creeps up looking for more. There's the first one, the second, the third on the transfer for Food is all too easy. That patience paying dividends as Envy now only need to worry about 1 player, and well, he's history. Food with just such an insane round to make matters even worse for Sentinels. No, there's just nothing for them to hold on to right now.
Oh. Food let Zoms see his face before he just ruined all of his dreams. This man goes in front of Zoms and then takes out Sick and Dapper. Oh my god, it looked like Sentinels finally found a way to get back into the map. Shut down immediately by an insane trigger discipline clip coming out of Food. Jesus, highlight festival today.
Get out of my way.
Oh, for sure. Oh, a double up drop there from Shazam, or the single up drop, to try to get something to connect, but no doing there. However, Sentinels will push their way forward. Looking pretty good actually off the trades, able to take that A site. They're trying to keep things simple right now, just straight up side hits. And it may be working out for them. They should get a spike planted here. Planting under Heaven.
Spike planted.
Only 3 Envy players to worry about. There's no ultimates to speak of either. Caboose trying to edge his way forwards. Drone, though, is going to cause some problems. It'll slow things down. The crossfire here between the corner and the hell position is pretty good, dealing with players coming out of spawn. Nice on the flank there from Dapper, just being responsible, doing everything quite diligently so far. Sentinels Looks like they're going to actually pick up another round off of the very simple A push on. Just again, just keeping it simple. I feel like what they're trying to do there is trying to remove some of the variables that have been really creating problems.
I couldn't agree more. And we talked about this yesterday. Sentinels has these two styles. One is way more tactical. One is gloves off. We're just going to play hyper aggressive, push everything. And I think to start this match, we saw, the B strat, the A strat, the C strat. And as they started failing more and more, we're getting a more and more aggressive Sentinels. This is just them, rushing A. They don't know what else to do, but this is a style that's actually very successful for this team. So can Envy stop this, this gloves off style of the A hit?
Yeah, that's a good question. Sentinel's looking to hit it again, a little bit slower, but oh no, Crashy's timing is perfect for him, taking down Sick. Curveball on his hand. Caboose now taking down Dapper. They're not gaining the ground that they need. They may have to reset out of this. They needed to be able to get into the site off of the first engagement, but they have been slowed down and they are getting fragged out at this point. Sinatra laying down the fire there with the Hunter's Fury. Will elevate himself, but cannot dodge Crashy's Hunter's Fury as well. So that's a solid start here for Envy. 10-2. We're going to have to see what we're going to get from Sentinels. Will their streak be broken? We'll find out after this break. Welcome back, everybody. This is the first map of this best of 5 grand finals between Envy and Sentinels. And Sentinels had, well, they have an unbeaten streak on Haven this year. But it's not looking good, Sean, for them to prevent that streak from getting broken right now.
No, it's definitely not looking good. Crashies and FNS are going to start over by A, and they're making heavy presence. You can see FNS caging the cross, Crashies droning, and that's going to pull a rotate. But this is a C-pop, Dan. They're all over this.
Dap is really close, though. With that shot, he's able to take down one. Trade comes through fast, though. Envy keep the train rolling. They keep all of that movement onto that C site, looking for that plant. Great spread of players there. You can see with the bird's eye camera. So I love this plant as well on the backside. Very difficult for the defenders to deal with. Sick, they're trying to find his way through here. Needs to find a lot of love off of the frenzy. Shazam, and oh, there we go. Sentinels managed to make it happen, leaving it just down to Mummy here for Envy. And Zoms is going to be able to jiggle him with that frenzy. And the round will be secured. A must-win round for Sentinels, but, you know, we're still in this Stinger buying meta, so I don't feel like really winning the pistol. It tells you too much just yet. especially given the spike plant.
But does Envy just respect the fact, we have 10 rounds. We don't need this second round. Or, no, Dan. They're all buying Stinger armor right now. The lead does not matter. Oh, no.
I can't believe you even left it the question, Sean.
Dan, I see 2 Ares right now on Sentinels, and all I'm thinking is those guys can't move, and the Stingers are just going to be running around them like, mosquitoes. They're just going to be running all over the place.
He needs to find those ranged engagements. 3 players spotted early from Dapper's cam. Just quick jump peek there to just confirm the information. And also knowing that because they have Stingers, he's not going to take too much damage from that peek. So
Dan, I am not peeking into 3 ADS Stingers. I don't care. those ADS Stingers, there's no way he's peeking that.
Oh, they're holding their ground. This is so scary right now.
This is going to get so epic. I would expect them to Omen smoke top C, though, before they ever go up. Surely. No.
Oh, that's huge. 5 HP. Dapper's alive. He's going to try to keep himself alive, but they are closing the distance here. This is scary. Caboose finds it with the classic for the trade. And, I mean, that's a lot of delay from Dapper. All said and done. Hopefully his teammates will be able to get there quickly. It's just down to Sick right now. Oh, I don't even know how he found that kill into Caboose, but that's a huge one to find. The Reyna is done and dusted for now. Quick recon dart to get some info, and there is where the Ares could be valuable. But Finesse, his position's gone unchecked there, see window. And that's going to be a huge problem. Cycling through from Garage, causing more problems. Finesse is the last man standing, and Shazam is just barely going to get it done with the Spectre. So Sentinels will hold on, but a spike plant, 4 kills, Sean. I don't think I don't think we're not going to see Stingers again.
Just so many. Everyone's just running with just full auto everywhere. It's so insane.
Oh, are they actually gonna? They're actually not gonna buy Stingers.
Surely not.
And just when you thought it was guaranteed.
It's actually so
double
much
Ares. I'm loving the double Ares. I think it's pretty genius.
Oh, this is one of the first times I've ever seen Sick not farm the orb early in the game. I think they're honestly scared of a Stinger rush still. Oh, that's an interesting dart.
I learned that dart from Liquid Jonas.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like it.
Garage dart, the double bounce.
So they run into the trip. That gives up the info. They're in garage. What a shock dart. There's 2 Ares on C. How do they hold this site?
Yeah, they've managed to gain a lot of ground here. Sentinels sort of giving the ground to them, not wanting to really be in these close range engagements against the Stingers, so they are forced to play retake. It might actually work out because they are able to peel off some of these players on the extremities and C window and outside of B, leaving just 3 here to defend the site, and some of them are quite weak here. There goes the push from Sick. Nice work to start things off with. Gets the double. Caboose, though, on the Reyna. That was pretty scary, but still, 2 players will be standing for Sentinels. And I feel like this may be a good time very quickly to address the elephant in the room, Sean, which is if Sentinels lose bind, given the map advantage that Envy have, there is blowout potential. So there's a huge pressure on Sentinels to win this map as they're supposed to, because we know that bind will be such a struggle from them. And if they lose, this, and then they lose bind, well, that's a wrap. So lots of pressure on Sentinels right now.
Yeah, tons of pressure to claw back into this map. Just round by round, they are getting closer. I thought they needed more of a cushion than 2 rounds. If they can claw this to 10-8 with a massive economy advantage, so doable.
This is very scary here. Shazam is seeing a lot of pressure towards A long. And I like this reaction here from Sentinels. They're actually trying to push C long as well at the same time. They want to know what this pressure is towards A. Is it fake pressure or is it the real deal?
Yeah, and they have Sinatra on B now. They have Trips in garage in C. They are ready for an A hit. Even though there's 2 players here, they're about as ready as they could be. Sick is going to be quick on the big flank. Sinatra is going to be there as a 3rd. He has a recon charging right now. I would be scared if Envy hit the A site right now, but they're not. They're going back to C. they might fall into this bait setup. We have a jump spot from back C, and Sick is in a corner. Are they gonna clear the corner? I don't think I would clear the corner if I saw a Cypher jump spotting site. Would you, Dan?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not at all.
There it is.
First player found. Sick looking for the next one. He's going to be delivering 2 kills, and I think that's everything he was supposed to do in that position. That's going to slow things down massively. Time is a problem. They have to gain ground, but they can't. Running into the Ares. A quick double from Sinatra is going to silence the push. Now Finesse has a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it. The spike is well and truly lost down long, so all he can really hope for is economy damage. That's what he's playing for right now. Looking to find some additional frags. He might be able to get something here. Sinatra looking like he really wanted to face that, but Dapper will take down Finesse. And Sentinels, as you said, Sean, really great round. Off of the reset from Envy, the Sentinels really prepared well. That C setup was perfect.
Yeah, what a beautiful setup coming out of Sentinels. Yeah, and to maintain holding that during all of the long chaos early round, knowing that Envy is a team that likes to run a slow default, they get map control, and then they do a site hit. It's easy to make the mistake of pushing through too early if you're Sick right there, and he didn't. Dapper with his patented jump peaks, baiting people in. This round's definitely not free. If we've learned anything from this tournament.
Yeah, it's insane because just the lack of comfort in never having economy. Even though Sentinels are winning every round, any one round that they play, their economy could just be wiped out. It's got to be so stressful for them, and I do wonder if they're expecting a change of pace. Envy have had a pretty similar pace in most of these rounds. This would be a good spot for Envy to really jack up the pace. Oh, looks like Sinatra switch up. Oh, what a punish from Crashies.
Wow,
you know what?
he hits the second. He hits the second.
Oh, charging into the side with the Stingers now. Talking about the economy. Oh, Fu straight through the smoke. It's going to find Shazam. That's the operator down. I don't think that they have anybody that can pick that up. It's just Dapper who's in heaven, but I don't know that he's going to be able to save that operator. Sick is going to work his way around as well.
Yeah, this is unwinnable, Dan. I think they might try to do damage to Envy's economy a little bit, but they're not winning this round.
They shouldn't be winning this round. They aren't going for it here. Looking to see if they can just get one extra kill. Oh, he not actually hit him in the chest. There's a lurk from Finesse. Now it's Dapper's turn to try to do some economy damage. Let's see if he can find anything else. Man, the white peaks of the Stingers. He knows.
Douglas Apper, you dirty, dirty boy. I can't even believe it. This man just wanted the Cypher diff clip. Puts FNS in the dirt. Made sure he was dead for an extra 15 bullets. But Crashies, we mentioned it earlier in the first half. The impact that he's having on this silver roll. Yeah. Incredible. It's actually incredible.
I mean, the mind games of just knowing that Sinatra was going to pop the ult at the start of the round and just waiting to punish him, just knowing the spot he's going to be standing, and then just can punish it. That's just epic stuff there from Envy. 2 rounds away from taking Haven, which will be huge for them. Food now able to make his way through, trying to get really deep on the site, getting that full side control. There's the Omen TP right at the back of the site at the same time. And Sinatra will try to do a little bit of chip damage with that shock dart. This is looking scary. Yeah, full retake is what's necessary here for Sentinels. Sick, though. Able to pick up one. Unable to find Caboose. Is blinded. Shazam's in the action now. Trying to force the issue with the knives in hand. And he's going to be able to pick up one more on the side of the cage. And surely there's got to be a trade for Caboose. Indeed, eventually there will be. But Food here on the flank is able to get one out of it. There comes a challenge. Dapper didn't have to go for that swing. It will be very, very good indeed. And Sentinels hang on by a thread.
They hang on through that round. They get the Phoenix ult out of Food, which he'll have in a couple rounds. So it's really not that big of a deal when you take a Phoenix ult away. But Envy doesn't have a lot to work with. So we could be looking at an 8th round for Sentinels. They're slowly creeping back into this game. And if I were Envy, I would start to feel the pressure. They've been in these scenarios before. They can't close out games when they play these top teams.
Revealing area.
That dart is so insane. That dart's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, shout out to Average Jonas for that one. I don't know who someone else came up with it, but that's who I landed from. And anyway, we'll have Envy pushing forward in Garage there, able to do quite a bit. We're also holding on with the Reyna. There's a dismiss out of the action. Resetting the situation. Sick though. He is savage. He's just going for it. He does not give a damn. Keeps on pushing the issue. And now Finesse will make his way up. He's lurking up that C-long position. Might be able to catch Sinatra off guard. There it is. Finds him. But now they know precisely where Finesse is. He's not going to pop the ult here. He knows how difficult this is. 8 bullets. He was never going to get much out of that. But Sick, oh man, someone needed to step up, and Sick is coming through clutch every time.
Oh my goodness. This guy got paranoid by a 400 credit flash, Dan. And he decided to go forward and get a kill. This man got hit by a 400 credit flash and still got a kill. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it.
Not giving up any ground. I love it.
None.
Now, it's a scary.
Are they ecoing here, Dan? Like I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous. I don't think Envy should eco here, but oh man, they're gonna take attack. They're gonna think about it. Oh, if I'm sitting on Sentinels right now, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good because you have Envy on the ropes. They're taking these tack timeouts. They're clearly scared. Sick has his ult. Shaz on the op. And even if you lose this round, you have another buy in you potentially. I think Sentinels are in a pretty strong spot all of a sudden.
Yeah, it can be good to take these tag timeouts too sometimes to kind of try to cool off your opponents if they're really on a heater as well. We'll see what the play is here from Envy. I mean, as you say, you know, I think anyone who wants a really solid best of 5 here is rooting for Sentinels to win this map. So we'll see if they can bring it through to completion. But every single round is so dangerous, given how close Envy are, given the fact that Sentinels have never had economy. Even now that they have the best economy that they've had, and it's basically nothing. Drone through carriage from both sides. Sinatra, oh, he's going to get tagged. He's going to be so careful here. You can get sprayed pretty easily. And Sick is just going to run it back straight forward for all the info. Even if he doesn't get anything else in terms of frags, the info is good. He spotted a bunch of players. They know what's going on, but they don't know about the Sober in mid. And Sick is still going to find it anyway. Doesn't matter shot. He just knows.
No way does he get that frag onto Crashies. 1-on-3 now from Mame. This is so doable. He dodges the paranoia. Sick. Who else other than Sick? He's already... Then he just popped his ult. He's already halfway to getting his next one. He's gonna be a good teammate. He's gonna let Solomons get this one.
Just
kidding. Just kidding. He's coming back in. He's halfway to his next ult. He's gonna get an orb next round.
Why wouldn't you farm Sick, man? You gotta farm every orb for this guy. Look at how much value he gets every time. Seriously, this guy needs something, man.
It's like watching a Pac-Man. This guy just eats the orbs.
All right, well, this is the best the economy has looked ever for Sentinels. It's honestly, I would call it pretty rough still, but I mean, I don't know, at this point it's all relative, I suppose. Stinger buy comes through. We may get a fast one possibly here, Sean.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to run it down somewhere with all these stingers. And honestly, this is so winnable.
Oh, Sick. Oh, he's going to get caught, even though he had the blinds there. The couple did actually connect. Didn't work out for him. Caboose, very forward ground. This is looking extremely scary right now. However, the B side is very retakeable. You get the running back coming through for food. It's very scary for Dapper. Finds the timing to deal with the running back, but the trade is there from Caboose. That was the setup. Now Caboose is in spawn. He's going to upgrade his weapon. Crashy's there, doing damage from behind the dark cover. Sentinels looking like they're in a really bad spot right now. Just one player left. It's Sinatra. We already talked about how bad the eco is for them at the moment, and it's going to get worse. Sinatra, no chance to save his gun. Food hunts him down. That's 12 rounds now for Envy. That is going to be map point for them. Sentinels cannot put a foot wrong at this point.
Yeah, it's actually crazy because all of those people in front of B were blind. And if you were to ask me, like, is this a bad play that Sick is doing? I would say, no, not really. He's kind of getting info, you know? He's just going to jiggle peek for info with this flash. I actually think it's, you know, a smart play. he just gets killed so quickly when he jiggle peeks front B. And look at their money after all those wins, Dan. 2 stingers.
Well, at least they're stingers, I suppose.
That's true.
And of course, got the dark cover there at the end of the A lobby, which is really nice to be able to like lurk up behind and so on. And I think right now Sentinel's really feeling the pressure towards this C side of the map. Hunter's Fury from Crashies is going to connect, but no frag found. It's actually going to be Sinatra, I think, to maybe get a kill here. Oh, he's going to be able to shoot his teammate a little bit. I think Dapper's not going to be happy with that.
Dapper is just getting wrecked by Sova ults this round.
Oh,
no.
This is huge. Oh, this is also huge. Zoms needed to find that frag. Sentinels really looking pretty rough at the moment. Caboose in forward position. That recon's going to help a little bit. That does pin down Caboose ever so slightly, but it's still a 1v1. And Sinatra able to run with the Phantom.
What?
And still get the headshot. All right. And now Zoms back by Hell is going to get taken down. That's going to allow Envy for the plant, but no. There comes the shock darts. And that's going to buy extra time here. 3 versus 3. Dapper with the flank takes down Crashies. Food is the only player with health here for Envy. Finesse is so weak. He's barely standing at this point. Still, though, finds the quick headshot and Food as well. And that's map 1 in the bag, or map 2, I should say. Envy picking up Haven. That is a lot of pressure now on Sentinels. Envy looking real good.
Oh my god, that last round was insane. I had no idea which way it was going to go. The fight in B site between Caboose and Sinatra was so epic. Envy, though, stealing Sentinels map pick. A map that they're 15-0 on this year. None of us saw that coming. And now they set up 2-0 in a best of 5, going into Bind, a map that Sentinels typically bans. They're definitely in the driver's seat of this series right now. And I'm scared for Sentinels. I mean, surely they prepared for Bind. They knew that this would be happening here. But even if you prepare to do what Envy did just now in Haven, to duplicate that on Bind, as Sentinels, that's a tall order.
Yeah, it's definitely a tall order. At the very least, we saw a lot of life out of Sentinels. They really made that run look like it was very possible. We saw a lot of individual power coming through. So hopefully they can carry that forward to Bind. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about that.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice. And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless? On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
Oh, baby. Contrast stitching. Curves that'll hug your body. Adjustable arms. Custom embroidery. Memory foam pillows. Changeable color inserts. Lay flat, recline. Removable logos. Soft, durable material. Yeah. You like what you see, baby? Zip chair.
I feel like I need to defend my scene's honor here, because this is just turning into a bit of a dogpile.
Like in groups always look.
I'm cutting you off here. I'm cutting you off. Cutting you off. He said G2's winning it. He said G2's winning it.
We need to wait till the next EU tournament, which could be in about 10 years now.
Take it with like a grain of salt. But that being said,
take it super literally.
Spike defused.